better for hunting down footmen, and he's not really able to do any sort of successful guard push in any of my bases, because I very quickly realize, like, at some point around here where it's like, oh, that's a shit ton of guards. I think it's like right now, yeah. So right now you see me throw down like 4 more towers. Like, the whole thing about Gargs is they're really shitty versus like 4 towers. Like, in semi-equal numbers, like 2 for 1, like every 2 Gargs for 1 tower, you're fine. As soon as they're like 10 Gargs and you have like 4 towers, you're in the shits, because the Gargs kill a tower in like 2 focuses. I'm not confirmed on whether or not the repair nerf affects built towers or unbuilt towers. I'm not positive on that. I think it does not affect built towers, but again, don't quote me. So, just like those waves of Garg fire and the time it takes for you to walk your peasants over there is actually very relevant for you to actually be able to do anything. This undead, however, is opting to set up some sort of counter expansion to me. I figure he's doing something of this nature just because there's really, literally nothing else he really would do if he's not attacking my base. And the moment I saw that he wasn't actually going after my base, like, or the moment I could tell, just like I had a good game sense, like, well, he's not at my base yet, and Gargs are really fast, so I would imagine that something's up. So I just assumed that he's trying to set up an expansion. I just went back and attacked his base to force him to come back. Anytime you're trying to stall time for yourself, attacking your opponent is the best way to do it. Your opponent cannot conceivably ignore 6 footmen, level 2 waters, and your AM. There's no way that he could say, oh, well, fuck my base, So here I wake up the creeps again because I'm Gosu, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to tower creep this bastard, and I just go ahead and tower creep this Ogre Lord, which is pretty sweet at the end of the day, because Ogre Lords have pretty good items, I hear. I don't know if this particular Ogre Lord has great items, but we'll see. What did he have? Oh, Mana Stone? That's not bad. So, I go to this Goblin Laboratory, and I'm like, oh yeah, that has reveal, doesn't it? So I go ahead and I throw up a reveal over here on the mine here, and I know now that mine is crept out. I did not confirm an Acolyte coming to there, so I don't actually know if he's expanding. I assume he is expanding, because anytime an undead is creeping out a mine specifically over another camp, it's a very good suggestion that they're actually going to do some sort of they're going to do some sort of counter expansion. Typically, an undead will creep the largest possible camp. The mine camp is actually relatively small compared to what his army could have been creeping, so the implication I got from seeing him creep that was that he was going to set up an expansion. Creeping mines doesn't always mean that. If someone creeps a mine on Turtle Rock, that's one of the strongest camps in the game, and it has very good items, and there's virtually no reason not to creep it, because it's just really nice for, like, it's very nice for getting the item and tons of experience, like free level 3 if a hero solo creeps it, or a fresh hero. So here I go, and I see that he's setting up an expo, and essentially what I do is I lure him out of that area with these footies. I send the footies up, and then send my Archmage back through, just because I only want to cancel his gold mine. Just canceling his gold mine once is actually very sufficient, given that I'm able to just slow him down and get, like, at this point in the game my plan is D-Hawks. Because he has Gargs, he's trying to set up an expansion, so his Garg production is cut, and if I just go 3 racks D-Hawk, I'm going to have way more Gargs than he's going to be able to handle. At some point here, I'm not sure if he has already, or he will, he scouts my 3 Aviaries. And starts going a Fiend, or 2, I'm not sure. Yeah, he's already scouted it, and I see a Fiend, so D-Hawks are often just not worth the trouble versus Fiends, just because, like, they're, first of all, extremely hard to micro. Microing units that don't move is fucking annoying. So, you're in this position as soon as they're going Fiends versus D-Hawks, where you have the option of going Breaker Hawk, or you can just ignore the Gargoyles altogether and just go like Breaker Griff, which is what I end up doing. Which is actually a mistake in retrospect. I end up going Breaker Griffin and losing a lot of Griffins to his Gargs. The interesting thing that ends up happening, though, is because of the lack of synergy of Web and Gargoyle Air Attack, I actually survive a lot with a lot of Griffins through most of the game, because he webs my Griffins, and then the Gargs just are like attacking them with their shitty little piercing. So it's pretty funny how it ends up working for me, but I was just thinking this whole game, like, you just see these weird unit combinations happen. Like, he's going Fiends to counter D-Hawks, I was going D-Hawks to counter Gargs, and I can't really ensnare his air if I'm webbed. So at this point, I'm just thinking, what am I gonna do? Because Fiend Gargoyle, like what kind of combo is that, right? So I just figure I'll go Breaker Griffin and Hero Focus because you really have nothing to lose at that point. Like, you'll kill a hero and then run, and kill a hero and run, or at very worst, like you'll lose your Griffins and then go tanks, which is you'll see what virtually ends up happening. So at this point in the game, I really just want to get a level 5 AM and a level 3 MK. Mostly a level 3 MK. The level 3 MK is really important because anytime you're doing some sort of hero focusing strategy, the disabling of the MK is just absolutely vital. So by being able to just focus the DK and keep him stunned for longer than a level 1 bolt and do more damage, it just makes the entire strat work much better. Especially when he has mana and you have breakers and Griffins just owning, so, etc. So my 2 Sanctums are up, and as you can see, I'm not producing anything on them yet because I'm a noob, but I probably should have started producing the good old breakers right away. There they come, 2 on each. As soon as I hit tier 3, I'm most likely going to start Griffins. I think I do not get the health upgrade for Griffins this game for some reason, like I just completely blank on it. Don't do that. Like, just don't. You always get that upgrade. That upgrade's insane good. Like, it's so cheap, too. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. I think I get it. Maybe. So we'll see. If I don't get it, I don't get it. That's life. I still end up winning this game. Maybe I would have won by... had a much easier time with it had I just done it the right way. So now I go ahead to just continue creeping here. I go up to this side of the map to creep. One of the reasons why I decided to creep this side of the map over another side of the map is for 2 reasons. One, the undead is more likely to be creeping on this side, and just because of that, if I can steal a couple of his creep camps, TP back to my expo, and then creep my bottom half, it's actually really beneficial just in the fact that I'll be stealing some of the creeps he could have potentially been getting. So now I just run right down, and I'm going to run to my expo, heal up, and just start creeping out this bottom side here. We're both on equal resources now. We both have 2 gold mines going. Right now we're just sort of in this counter war. I'm not really sure what the fuck I'm doing. So I'm like, well, I think I'm going to be going breakers, because those counter fiends, and, Griffins are just good units for, like, right-clicking stuff. So I think I'm going Griffins. Gargoyles pretty much destroy Griffins, but we'll see how it goes down. So at this point, I'm just getting upgrades, and the nice thing about Breaker Griffin is that the upgrade from the Smith, the attack upgrade, helps for both of them. So you're really gaining a lot by getting that upgrade. The overall damage of your army goes up like tremendously. Like breakers do like 13 to 16 or something like that unupgraded, and like you'll see what they do like at level 3. Like it's just an absurd boost. It's like a 10 damage upgrade per guy. So it's like you're getting another breaker's worth of food and damage per breaker for upgrading 3 times, and you have like 10 breakers. So there's virtually no reason for you not to be doing that. Also, Griffin Riders go from like 40 to 60 damage to like 60 to like 80 or something like insane. So again, there's like no reason not to. Here, I kind of see his army, and I kind of taunt him a little and try and get him to refocus a bit. And he just TPs because he's scared. At first, I don't notice it because I'm not paying attention, but eventually I look back down and I see that little TP like resonance in my Fog of War. So I'm like, I guess he TP'd. So then I just go on back and creep out these bottom camps. The bottom camps in this map are like reasonable. Like actually, virtually none of the camps on this map are actually that big, except for the golems, which I end up creeping most of both. He's for some reason just sort of chilling in his base. Oh, he got his hero stuck, so that's not good. And right now, again, I'm just really trying hard to get that level 3 MK and get level 5 Archmage. The level 5 Archmage is mostly important because level 3 water is basically 2-shot Gargs, and since I don't really have a hard counter to Gargs in my army, I really want that extra piercing damage just to push me through the battles, especially because he doesn't have any destroyers in his army. With no destroyers in his army, it makes it very difficult for him to actually do anything about the water elementals, which actually become very powerful as soon as you do that. So we start creeping right next to each other, and I always love to see this in replays, simply by the fact that, like, in the game, you're like, where is he creeping? Where is he creeping? Oh, he's probably creeping that camp, and he's actually just right next to you. So it's like I always think it's very funny when